I had 13 DMT experiences in 10 days. Hey, I'm Vergo and this is Psychedelic Actualization. On this channel we talk about topics like self-realization, self-actualization and working with psychedelics to live a more authentic and fulfilling life. This is part 2 of a video series where I just go a little bit about my journal and report back from my 13 DMT experiences in 10 days. So if you want to watch part 1 of this video, you can click right here. I talk about the first 5 or 6 experiences, and now I'm going to continue the journey and talk about the rest of those experiences. I also microdosed DMT a little bit in those experiences. I tried microdosing and I combined it with my affirmations, which worked great actually. So I'm gonna but watch the first video for that one. So I'm just gonna go about my journal and see what we have next. So the 6th day I did microdosing in the morning for the affirmations, and I wrote it was okay. So it was not great anymore, but some experiences were really great and I felt the affirmations during the experience, and sometimes it was just okay. Or sometimes the experience was also kind of distracting me from doing my affirmations, which was interesting. And I did another experience that day where I was just taking a little bit microdosing to contemplate the question, how do I want to express my love for the world, to the world? And I had no answers, but just wonder. Well, but maybe the answer is wonder. Wondering and being in awe is maybe the answer to all of our questions. Well, in the evening I had another experience, third experience that day, by a beautiful lake in nature, and I took 4 strong hits and I had a very, very strong experience. I wrote, it was 2 years back now, so I wrote it was eventually my strongest till now. And yeah, it's undescribable. What can I say about those experiences? It's so beyond language. It's so beyond what I can communicate to you through language and through video form. It's just undescribable. I wrote I got sucked into nature kind of, and were thinking just wow, 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 and everything kind of looked at me. It feels like it's not, sometimes it's faces also for me, but sometimes I feel like the being of something, for example of the trees that I was looking at in this experience, they were looking at me and everything kind of looked the same. It's really difficult to describe, but it's just that the presence of something radiates so much and goes so deep into my awareness that I feel like I'm watched by it, by nature itself, but I'm also part of it because everything is looking similar or feeling similar. And I wrote, it's consciousness? Is it consciousness? Of course it's consciousness, because everything is consciousness, and I had that insight and that experience. It felt like kind of another dimension, but I knew it was just the sea and the forest that I was looking at. The sky was pure wonder and magic, so free, so infinite, so peaceful. That's what I wrote. And I had kind of this DMT sound in the background. It's like this high pitchy sound of and sometimes it's in the background. Sometimes it's also not there for me. Write down in the comments, do you always have that sound? And sometimes it gets really intense and it just kind of plays with the sound, or sometimes it starts with a sound and then I go beyond that sound when I kind of break through. I don't know if I can use that term because it's a wishy-washy term, at least for me, in my experiences. So I was just looking and looking and looking and trying to understand what just happened, but I couldn't. It's beyond understanding. It's just awe. I was just in awe. And oh, interesting, I had music on and that was distracting, and I turned it off right at the beginning of the experience. Just magical and very, very interesting. Really nice experience. So the next day I microdosed in the morning again to do my affirmations, and this was the 7th day, so a week of microdosing DMT every morning to do the affirmations. And I had a weird experience. It got kind of weird and I couldn't concentrate anymore, and it was not feeling great anymore. At the beginning it worked really great and I was amazed by it. And this time it kind of morphed into a weird experience. Well, that's how it is, you know. It's not always. The deeper you go, the more you explore. It's not always just like fun and games, but you can get to really interesting and weird places. Really interesting. So the next day I was by that beautiful sea again. I love that lake. Took 4 to 5 big tokes and I wrote, "It's just pure beauty." It's like I feel like when I'm having those experiences, I'm inhaling beauty. It's like that's the main essence of the DMT experience for me. It just reveals the beauty of life. The effects felt longer this time, and really interesting and really important observation and insight is the more I let go and surrender into the experience, the more the experience opens up for me. So that is quite a crucial insight. So if you want to journey deeper, learn to open up and let go and surrender deeper. You can also practice that in just basic meditation or basic in your day-to-day life. Practicing letting go and surrendering. And I had the insight for the question, what is love? What is love? And the answer came to me, everything that is love. Which is nice to say, but when you really feel into it, how deep that statement goes, it's a really brutal but also freeing truth that shines forth over and over again, at least for me. So that's really interesting. Yeah. I wrote, when I zoomed in or focused on a tree, patterns were showing up and something was merging together. It's pure magic. It's wonderful. So the next day I had day number 9, experience number, I don't know, I didn't count. I was by the sea again and smoked again, and not much happened. I just had a feeling of peace. It can also be something like that. When you're excited, your heart is pumping, you're like anticipating and thinking about how intense this trip is gonna be, and then you're having the experience, you're smoking it, and nothing happens. It's just a peaceful feeling, or you just get some vibrations in your body, and that's how it is. And yeah, it's a true mystery, right? Day number 10, it was the first day I took a break actually, and I didn't smoke anything. And day number 11, I filled up the Mighty with everything that I had kind of scratched off from what was inside, the leftovers, and it was quite a lot. At least it seemed for me it was quite a lot, and I took 4 hits, and I was, is it the right page? I don't know. It's a nice book, right? It's a really interesting paper here. So I was, the location was outside in nature with a really wide view and in front of a forest on a field. So a beautiful location, and with every toke, with every hit I took, I saw more and more how everything turned and revealed its infinite beauty. My last thoughts were my intention, like what is love, what is love, what is love, and then boom! My mind and my thoughts were erased. And then I just saw this, like just infinite beauty, just magic and love. I mean, it's beyond words, but I just saw and felt and experienced this. So the visuals were so beautiful, just so amazing. I didn't know how to describe it. The peak was just astonishing, beyond words. Is life a dream? And I thought and said, DMT is the greatest teacher. After it faded slowly and I just became conscious what a precious gift it is to walk in this infinitely beautiful existence, on this beautiful ground in this universe. I wrote existence equals love. The present moment equals love. God is always everywhere. God is love, I am God, I am therefore infinite beauty. I danced and sang, and I looked around and observed this nature, this perfect existence. Those insights are so deep, you know? And the integration part is the most important part, to keep that insight, to keep that revelation of what you experience as truth in those experiences. It's also important to kind of check in with yourself, question those experiences, so that you're not deceiving yourself, or your ego mind is not interpreting itself, these experiences in a elusive way, kind of. But for me, what I wrote and I'm just describing what I wrote like after those experiences and what my revelations were. And we can totally discuss the insights, but right now I still feel like that this is true because I have these insights and these revelations on different methods, not just psychedelics, but over and over and over again. So it's just perfect as it is. Every experience and life and existence itself is perfect as it is. I don't know just how to describe the visuals. They were just magical. And yeah, it's about the integration. It's about the remembrance of that infinite beauty and that it's always present in everything. And I wrote, there's nothing to be afraid of. And that is it. Those were my 13 DMT experiences in 10 days or 11 days in these two parts of this video. It was really interesting for me to go over them again. It was just the first time after a year or so after that I read those reports. And hopefully it was valuable and interesting for you too, to hear about those experiences. How it is to smoke DMT a lot, and I feel like it's fine. Like when it feels okay and it feels right, then it's okay for me to go into these ceremonies once a day for a week, every day from the week, or 2 times a day or 3 times a day. So it just really depends on your resonance and your feeling of and how you feel, what actions are aligned with your state of being right now. And sometimes it feels like I don't want to have this experience for weeks or a month on end. And then that's what I follow, or what I try to follow. So yeah, if you haven't watched the first part, go watch it. Those experiences were also really interesting. That's where I talked a little bit more about the microdosing for the affirmations part. And yeah, that is it. Thank you so much for watching, for being here with me, experiencing this life. We're experiencing it together. We're going through it. Life is a mystery, and we can appreciate that mystery and enjoy this existence. So if you're interested in self-realization, self-actualization, and working with psychedelics to live a more authentic and fulfilling life, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram, join our Facebook group, Psychedelic Actualization, and I wish you a wonderful, beautiful day. May you see the beauty in everything. Much love. I will see you in the next one, right?